Hi, everybody. This is Bob Gray, and welcome to our edition of Your City, Your County. We're recording this today on June 9th, 2021. And we have as our special guest today a person we haven't met before, Ken Wein. I'm going to blow it. I know I'm going to blow it. Ken Weinaug. Which is a German name, I understand. We're both somewhat German. And Ken is the executive director of the Algoma Chamber of Commerce. Ken, welcome, even though I blew the beginning.
Okay,
good. How long have you been on the job?
I joined the chamber in mid-January.
And are you from this area, or where did you get started?
No, I'm originally from Sheboygan, born and raised in Sheboygan. Left high school, 21 years in the Navy, came back to Wisconsin, and I've been bouncing around ever since. So did a couple of years back in the Sheboygan area with the rec department there. Went back overseas, worked for the Army as a defense contractor in the Middle East for a year. Came back to Sheboygan again, worked at Oneida with the Indian tribe in Green Bay for a little while. Went back to work for the military again as a civilian employee out in Washington, D.C. for a couple of years. Came back to Wisconsin again as director of operations for the Boys and Girls Clubs down in Sheboygan. Came up to Green Bay, got involved in the Kroc Center project with the Salvation Army, and from then I've kind of been latched on to new construction projects ever since. Built the Kroc Community Center in Green Bay. Was there for 6 years, went up north, worked for Jack Links for the Link family, built a community center up there for 3 years. Came back, built a new sports facility in Grand Chute, the Champion Center, with a couple of hockey rinks and a field house. And then the COVID thing hit, and now I'm in Algoma. So I'm hoping to put my background experience in business and in new construction and put it to work here in Algoma to make Algoma a better place.
Great, very good. I'm going to fill out a form here of jobs you haven't held.
Might be tough.
Sounds like you've been very busy. What did you do in the Navy?
I worked in electronic warfare and then did some collateral duty intelligence work. So.
Oh, very good. Well, I won't ask you about that. It sounds very secret.
Yeah, I had to sign one of those papers the last day I left. I wouldn't talk about certain things.
Okay.
For
Well,
a while, so.
I'll make it real easy for you. I won't ask you because I wouldn't even know what to ask.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Now, the visitor center is located in Algoma, and if you can kind of tell people where it's located. I know where it's located, but I'd like to hear you explain it.
Real easy. South end of Crescent Beach, at the south end of the boardwalk. It's a 6-sided building right there on the beach. I got the best office in the world. I sit at my desk. I overlook the beach, the lighthouse downtown. So right on 42, very easy to find for people coming either from 54 from Green Bay. It's just a couple blocks south of the end of 54, or it's right on 42 on your right on the lakeside as you come up from Equani or come down south from Sturgeon Bay.
Yeah, you must have a different change of scenery every day depending on what the lake looks like.
It's not even every day, it's every hour lately with the way the fog's been going. It's been kind of neat to watch. You see it kind of creep in, and yesterday it was a low layer and you could see the water towers and the tops of the trees, and by the afternoon you couldn't see anything. So
wow,
it's been ever changing this week. It's been kind of interesting and fun.
Very exciting, I'm sure. You know that you. A lot of people, would love to have an office like that. So.
Yeah, I get a lot of comments, and I don't argue with them that I have the best office ever with the best view. So.
I'm sure. I remember when that building was built some years ago, and it was a collaborative effort of the community to get that building constructed and to get it fulfilled. Do you have other workers with you? People who volunteer? How does that work?
Yeah, the visitor center itself is really staffed by volunteers, and Sharon Hedrington works as our volunteer coordinator with the chamber part-time, and she's really the one that makes that happen. She puts a lot of work into developing a schedule and recruiting volunteers and scheduling volunteers and making sure that the rack cars and everything are stacked and ready to go. So she puts a lot of effort into that. That's really credit to her to keep that running. And then I have one other person, Robin Harper, who works for us part-time. She's our social media coordinator. She's the one that does all the Facebook posts does a lot of my forums and, communication with the outside world, so to speak. So, again, a really key part in what we do at the chamber. And she not only does the chamber stuff, but she works in a lot of other organizations too. And she's able to bring that all together and make it work for everybody, and a great source of information for them.
Oh, good. Well, that has to be certainly a changing field. I know when the chamber first started, they probably would have mailed a letter or somebody would have called. But what all does the electronics involve that she's doing?
Well, a lot of our things now, you're kind of seeing a shift in chambers of commerce across the country. A lot of them are really becoming destination marketing organizations. And it's really about getting the word out about Algoma and what we're about, what we've got here, as far as businesses and amenities go, and trying to get people to come here and shop in Algoma and go to the beach in Algoma and go fishing on the charter fishing boats and shop the art shops downtown. And we've got a lot of people lately that have come here and said that they're relocating to Algoma, so we try to help them out as well in telling them what is here, what there is to do, and where to go shop and where to eat and get gas and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a little bit of a shift from a business focus to more of a marketing focus, and we're seeing that now with a lot of chambers even in our area that are changing names, and they're not even called chambers anymore. They're called something different. So will we do that? I don't know. Is it coming in the future? Maybe. I've only been around for a few months now, not quite ready to go in and jump in.
Let's not stir the pot too much right now.
But we're really here to make sure that the businesses have the resources they need. It's been a challenging time with COVID, making sure they are aware of government programs that can help them out. Or right now our big focus, one of our big focuses, is trying to help people get employees. So whatever it takes to help our members out and make their business better and easier and more efficient, that's really why we're here.
Yeah. Do you work with the Economic Association at all?
We do. In fact, next week we're having a meeting with the three chambers, Kewaunee, Luxembourg, and us, along with the Kewaunee County Economic Development Corporation. And we want to talk about how we can better work together and support each other. Not to say that we're going to become a regional chamber of commerce, so to speak, but we're constantly trying to push people to Algoma, but at the same time we want to help Kewaunee and Luxembourg as well. So we just want to get together and talk about how we can maybe work together and more efficiently and help each other out, be more effective in bringing people to the entire area.
Yeah, and what helps you helps Kewaunee and
Absolutely.
helps Luxembourg as well as the entire community.
And we've got chamber members in both as well. We've got Kewaunee businesses that are part of the Algoma Area Chamber. We've got Luxembourg businesses that are part of the Algoma Area Chamber. So, that's part of making sure our members get what they need as well.
Okay. Now, I know that Algoma puts out a little magazine, a booklet, and that's out, I'm sure, for this year already?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's been out, we pushed it out in January already. We're going through them like water right now, which is a good sign. It means people are interested in Algoma. We ordered, I think, 20,000 of them, and I'm down to probably the last 5,000.
Oh, my goodness.
So
wow.
We've been pushing them out a lot.
Yeah.
And, this weekend we put them outside the door, and when the chamber's not open, they're still available. I came in Monday to an empty container. I've had 3 requests from businesses this week asking for more cases of those, so they're going. People are interested in Algoma. They're looking at the books and taking them with them. So
any chance you'll print off a few extras?
We'll see where we'll be washing that pallet right now to see when the pallet starts to get close to empty, but. But so far, we've been running through them like water lately.
I remember many years ago when I was working in a different field than what I am now, but having a publication which was called The Key to the Door up in Door County, and was working with that operation. And boy, we went through a lot of those. And then part of your problem too, I'm sure, is you have to deliver those to the various businesses.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges too. I mean, every time I go to Denny's, to the grocery store, I've got a box in my back of my car, and if they're out, I restock them, or if I go to the hardware store, I try to restock. But trying to keep up with some of these businesses as fast as they're going through them is tough.
Yeah, you bet. Well, it has to attract a whole lot of people, I'm sure. If somebody has a question about, I'd like to maybe visit Algoma, or they have a friend who would like to visit. You obviously, as you've mentioned, you have the internet. And if somebody calls on the phone and says, gee, what can you tell me about Algoma? How do you handle that?
Obviously, we're trying to find out there's specifics that they're probably looking for. So we try to find out what, if they're looking for outdoor recreation, if they're looking for an art shop, or are they looking to go to the beach, or are they looking to go fishing? What are they looking for? What are their interests? And try to narrow it down to what they're actually looking for, so we can give them the right information and do it over the phone. A lot of times those phone calls will turn into, can you mail me a friendly Algoma?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll send them one of those friendly Algoma books to read and take a look at. So
Yeah.
we get, I don't know how many requests for those over a week. People calling from all over the country. I think we've sent a few overseas as well.
Well,
I know we sent at least one to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Well, we'll expect somebody with an English
Yeah, if
accent.
you're somebody talking funny, it's probably the result of the book that we mailed them.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. Well, excuse me. We'll recognize them right away when they show up. So I'm sure you get people from all over the country, and one of the prime things I know that Algoma has always been known for is the fishing, but it sounds like, you're kind of expanding and with the attractions and everything else that Algoma has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure we're representing Algoma as a whole. We don't want to over focus on one industry or whatever, but charter fishing obviously is very, very important to the area, and it's one of the primary reasons why a lot of people come here. And but there is a lot in Algoma that people don't realize, is around. So
Oh, sure.
people have a lot of different interests. We get calls too. My husband's going charter fishing. What's there for me to do?
Mm-hmm.
And we share, the outdoor recreation opportunities, the shopping opportunities, and we try to represent Algoma as a whole.
Mm-hmm. And come to the beach. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's been a little cooler lately. We've
Yes,
had a 20
it has
degree
been.
temperature shift in the last week between here and Green Bay. So
Yeah. Well,
we've sold a few extra sweatshirts and blankets this week
Well,
for people
that's
that weren't
always
prepared.
good.
So that was okay.
Yeah, I remember working in the area as a kid, and people would come up and we'd sell a lot of sweatshirts in the summertime. People were surprised, that the temperatures were cooler up here. And coming in today into Algoma, I noticed the temperatures were a little cooler than they were up north. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
anyway, that sounds pretty good. You mentioned that people are starting to move to Algoma. They find that they can get good internet service. They can work out of their house. Do you think that's going to be a growing trend for this area?
I think it could be. I think a lot of people are, with this COVID thing, as a result of people working in their house, they're realizing they can go anywhere they want. Like you said, as long as they've got a good internet connection and a phone connection. So I think it's a possibility. KCEDC is working on the broadband expansion for the area. It's been going on quite a while, but that would definitely be a boon to bringing people up here too, because I think one of the things people are worried about is being rural, that they're not going to have the service that they need to do what they need to do. So I think that would be a great addition, a good selling point. But people just like the area. It's we're touristy, but we're not overly touristy. We're not Door County, but we've got a lot of the same amenities that Door County does.
Sure.
Our beach is better than just about all of Door County.
I don't know of
if not
any
all of Door
beaches that are that big.
So, it's the trail system we've got. We've got a lot of things going for us here in Algoma to sell somebody to move to the area. So, the danger is, housing right now is a little tough. A lot of the houses in the city are turned into short-term rentals. So I think housing is an issue that could be an issue coming up here. But I get probably at least one a week that have come up and say they are relocating to the city or they're considering relocating to the area. So
yeah, well, that's a good thing. That's going to do nothing but help, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It helps the economy and brings in new ideas. That's important. It sounds to me like you're going to be pretty busy in the coming months, getting ready for the for the Algoma Festival, which is coming up here very shortly. Shanty Days. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that, and particularly the parade. I always loved the parade, and that's going to be going again this year?
We're working on getting the parade going. We're searching for units, so if anybody's interested in putting a unit in the parade, just get a hold of the chamber. We'll point you in the right direction. But Shanty Days is probably 15% of the phone calls I get in a week. Is Shanty Days going? When is Shanty Days? Is it going to be the same as, not last year, of course, but previous? So I think Shanty Days is coming back is a big thing for the city. People are really looking forward to it. They greatly missed it last year.
Oh, you bet.
So there's a lot of I should say a lot of festivals that are on schedules right now that still haven't made decisions, but we made the decision at the end of April that we're gonna push ahead with Shanty Days and make it happen this year. And I think people are really excited about it.
It sounds great, and that's always exciting. And I don't know of many parades that for instance, with that parade that are as extensive and as large as the parade, for Shanty Days. That's a biggie.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, and I think a lot of other people are too.
Good. What else, obviously besides the parade, but what other events are involved with that particular weekend?
We've got bands all weekend. We've got a very sizable arts and crafts and street fair section that'll be set up this year. We've got a 5K run on Saturday morning, and it's actually a qualifier for the Bellin run. So it's a pretty significant run that people will come to because it counts as the qualifier, which a lot of runs don't. We've got the parade. We've got fireworks on Sunday night, which is another thing everybody's really looking forward to. And what am I missing? I'm sure I'm missing something, but it's
well,
a big
I've written down a lot of these, so we'll be going through my list here. I remember some years ago working for a local radio station in Algoma, and the fireworks were going, and we had music playing, and they coordinated the two, which was really kind of fun. It was neat, and so you get people to turn on their radios as they were watching the fireworks go off. I don't know if they're doing that anymore.
I'm not sure if they're that far into it yet, but
yeah.
I'm sure that they're going to do the best they possibly can with the fireworks. Like I said, that's another big component of Shanty Days.
You bet.
People love fireworks.
Oh, yeah. Let's see now. We have fireworks, and do you know any of, and I hate to get into specifics, but do you know any of the bands that will be here? And I don't want to put you on the spot.
I do, but I don't have the list with me, unfortunately.
Okay.
But it'll go out on our website.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a Shanty Days website, Shanty Days Facebook page, so all the information for Shanty Days will be on there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I just came from Legion Park where we're down there trying to power wash and repaint the pavilion before we did a concert series down there.
Oh,
so
okay.
Otherwise I would have brought my list with me. I would have had it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you about that a little bit then, too. How's that going?
Concerts is another one that people are really excited about. We've got over 40 sponsors, which is huge for a town this size.
Yeah.
We've gotten unbelievable corporate and private support for concerts, and we're looking forward to bringing that this year. One of the bands that we have, Rain Stern, she was actually on The Voice on NBC this year. She competed on The Voice, so
great. She'll
be here July 8th, so we're hoping she'll bring a big crowd in. But it's something, again, that I get phone calls all the time, our concert's going to happen, and the answer is yes. So Thursday night, July 1st, 7 o'clock will be the first one, and then every Thursday after that until August 19th.
Okay.
So
very good.
8 weeks in a row, every Thursday night.
That's great. It seems like a number of communities, throughout the area, well, probably throughout the country, I suppose, maybe, but are doing that sort of thing. And I think it's a wonderful attraction, and it brings people into the community.
And the nice thing here is you can come, with some of the local bars and the wineries doing bands as well. You can come and see a different band Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. Mm-hmm. So you really come up for Thursday. You can spend a whole weekend. You can see a different band every night and stay right now. Go, might not have to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. And that's wonderful. And I know that Von Steel Winery here in Algoma was really the only winery I was aware of for many years in this area. And, that's another, strong point, as you mentioned, about the wineries. And there are, of course, other wineries as well, now that we have here. So that's a good, strong point. Now, you've been talking a little bit about your office, which is on Highway 42 on the south end of Algoma, just before you go up the hill. And you were telling me before we started the show that you're planning some activities more for some of the local people. What are you thinking about there?
Yeah, we've done a kind of a little mini renovation, I guess, if you want to call it that, of the visitor center, but given a new coat of paint. But we've been looking, and I've been talking to people in town, and we want to give locals a reason to go in there as well. I mean, it is the Algoma Visitor Center. We've got a great source of knowledge about Algoma and its history, and the things that have happened in Algoma and our volunteers, and they love to share the stories. So we want to share the stories as well with the visitors to Algoma. So what we're looking at is possibly doing, for lack of a better word, a historical area within the visitor center. We don't want to be a full-blown Kewaunee County Historical Society or anything like that, but just to display some pictures, maybe do some thematic things on the walls in there, just to talk about more of the stories of Algoma and talk about what Algoma really is, as opposed to just having pictures of random things up there that I don't want to say don't serve a purpose, but they don't tell the full story like another focused area might. So
Yeah.
and we've got the time capsule in there that we've talked about earlier too before we came on. That'll be open in there. So that's kind of a centerpiece of it, and then hoping to add some pictures and some stories. The Friends of Crescent Beach just did a great thing for the 25th anniversary of the boardwalk there. They collected all kinds of stories. I haven't talked to them about it, so I'm probably being premature in saying it, but I would love to get some of those stories and put them up, in the visitor center as well to, again, tell a story of Algoma and the area.
Yeah. If people have things that they know about the area, I'm sure they'd probably be welcome to visit with you and
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
share
Yeah.
some of the
Yeah.
share some of the history that they know about and so on.
Yeah, that stuff too often goes undocumented, and then it gets lost, and then it's gone forever. So, like I said, we don't want to become the historical society by any stretch of imagination, but we want to at least tell some stories about Algoma and its history. And people that come into the visitor center from all over the place, they ask those kind of questions. So it'd be nice to just kind of point them in a direction and say, did you know this about Algoma? Even people that have been here for a long time maybe don't know some of the stories, or to bring back a memory for them that they haven't had recently. So
Yeah. Well, I used to sell radio advertising down here a long, long time ago, and I remember a lot of the businesses that were in existence at that time. Were really interesting. The number of clothing stores and radio and television businesses and shoe stores and all kinds of places that you don't see now, but you would have seen years ago.
yeah, one of the things as we were cleaning things out, we found was the original charter from the Chamber of Commerce. So we've got that on display now with some of the original signatures in the application. So people have recognized some of the names on there, and it's a good talking point, and it's a good piece.
When did the chamber start?
1946, according to the document that we
Okay.
found. So, and we've got the original charter there that was issued by the state of Wisconsin too, that we've got on display now, issuing the charter to the chamber to become a chamber. So
Oh, that's great. How interesting. And I think so many people, you lose track of that over the years, and people forget, about different businesses and different stores and that sort of thing. Let's talk a little bit about, and you'd mentioned about Crescent Beach. You said that it's been 25 years now since they built the boardwalk. That seems hard for me to believe. But I do remember before it was built. I guess I'm showing my age a little bit. But do you find that that boardwalk and the beach is a real draw for Algoma?
oh, it sure is. I mean, when I started in mid-January, there's people walking on the boardwalk, and it's got 3 inches of snow on it. I mean, it's used literally year-round, and you've got a beach like we've got, and now with the new beach cleaner that the city's purchased, I've watched them, run up and down the beach for the last month or so, and you add the boardwalk there. It's so easy to walk from one end of the beach to the other, and it's ADA accessible. You see all kinds of people on there. It's used all the time, and it's another great attraction that brings people to the beach. So you've got the beach, but then you've got the beach plus the boardwalk, and it just adds value to it.
Yeah, I think that's terrific. And I remember when the beach wasn't in the kind of shape that it's in now, and all the work that's been done on it and everything else. So that's great. If somebody was interested in becoming a member of the Chamber of Commerce here in Algoma, what should they do?
The easiest way is to reach out to me, get a hold of me at the Chamber. If they want to do some research before they contact me, it's on on the website. Visit algomawi.com. There's a chamber tab on there, and they can go onto that tab, and there's some information about what we do and some of the resources that we have available. There's an application on there as well, so we give them some background information about what the chamber is and who our members are and what we do.
And is there a cost to become a member?
There is, and it depends on what type of business you are. There's nonprofit rates, there's manufacturers, retails, so it's kind of a sliding scale for membership.
And I'm sure that you get the question sometime, well, it doesn't help me specifically. How do you answer something like that?
Well, I can tell you just in the last year what the chamber, both the previous director and myself, trying to really be a resource for an ever-changing world of what's available, to small businesses, the PPP loans, the payroll protection program loans. There's small business loans. There's a restaurant program out there right now. There's a lot of things going on that business owners may miss, and we want to make sure that we're the resource for every business that's in Algoma that we can do for them.
The way I always used to hear it, and I've talked with a lot of people, is that it may not help you specifically. You may not have a restaurant where vacationers come and eat, but if you have a place where they fix cars, it's important to have a community that's strong, and the person who owns the restaurant may want to get his car fixed at your place, and so it seems like that's kind of a strong
it really
approach.
Really is about economic development and making a strong city business-wise and tourism-wise. And the chamber membership, that money helps us do that kind of stuff. It helps us to make the marketing effort. It helps us to go out and find the resources and hire the right people to put that stuff out on Facebook and make sure it's right. And again, we need the resources to be the resources, what it comes down to.
Absolutely. And it all takes money, and it all takes work, and it takes volunteers.
It does,
it can draw a community together too, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the strongest things that Algoma has going for it is how the business owners here work together. We just did the new Napa store out on Sunset. We just did their ribbon cutting earlier this week, and their owner, Brad Bozer, talked about how local businesses were involved in the construction of the building, I shouldn't say the construction, the remodeling of the building, and how he worked with other local businesses and how they helped and worked together to make that come true for him. So I think that's one of the strongest things that Algoma has for it. It is a small community, but the businesses are really, really good about working together and getting the job done.
In which building was that?
That was the new Napa.
Oh, the Napa.
Store.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
They moved from downtown out to the industrial park. So.
Great.
So,
Yeah,
very
gotcha.
impressed by the way the business owners work together.
That always seemed to be the case, again, referring back to my olden days of, working in radio, that there would be community events and everybody would be getting together to help each other out.
Even just like I mentioned earlier with the concerts in the park, the sponsorship support that we saw from the local community to make it happen for the community was unbelievable. I never guessed that we'd have 40 sponsors in a community this size, but here it is, and we're going to make it work. So it'll just allow us to make more improvements to the concerts in the park series as we go along. So
You bet. It's pretty exciting. Good. All right. Well, I thank you so much for being with us today. The time has flown by once again. We've been speaking with the Kewanee I'm sorry, excuse me, with Ken Weinaug. Right? Did I get it?
You got
Okay,
it.
good. With Ken Weinaug, who's the executive director of the Algoma Chamber of Commerce. And we thank you again. Thanks for
Okay.
being with
Thanks
us.
for
And if you have questions about the chamber, give him a call. And that's going to do it for our show today. We thank you very much for our edition of the June 9th, 2021, Your City, Your County. The preceding program was a production of the Al Reinhardt Television Network. And we thank you all very much. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. So long.